The Bears have a massive injury report today and more roster moves. The past 48 hours have been insanely busy for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears coaching staff. What's up, guys? Swift here, covering everything Chicago Bears with daily videos, updates, and in-depth analysis. Today's injury report was the biggest of the entire season, with 10 players on the report, including 6 players completely missing practice. This is on top of the Bears adding 3 players to the injured reserve this week as well. Eddie Jackson, Darnell Mooney, and Dane Cruikshank have all been put on the injured reserve. Meanwhile, Larry Borom, Jaquan Brisker, Kyler Gordon, Dante Pettis, Riley Reiff, and Trevor Siemian all missed practice completely. Justin Fields, Chase Claypool, and Kindle Vildor were limited participants and considered day-to-day. On top of all that, if you missed my other videos, the Bears also signed safety Adrian Colbert to the practice squad, added rookie safety A.J. Thomas to the 53-man roster, and also signed defensive tackle Andrew Brown to the active roster. To go with all these moves, the Bears also signed quarterback Tim Boyle off the Lions practice squad. Both Tim Boyle and defensive tackle Andrew Brown have to stay on the 53-man roster for at least 3 weeks. This one is interesting and leads me to believe that either Fields or Siemian, or possibly both, could be out this weekend, if not longer. The one that is most interesting to me is adding another quarterback to the 53-man roster. Boyle started 3 games for the Lions last year and is capable of making some big-time throws. He's a big 6'4", 225-pound QB with a big arm. Not a guy who would ever challenge Fields for a starting job, but a guy who has 2 years of experience working with Luke Getsy in Green Bay, who could conceivably carve out a backup role going forward. Speaking of that, Trevor Siemian missed practice today, and Justin Fields was limited, so there may be an opening for a starting quarterback this weekend against Green Bay. Meanwhile, reports out of Green Bay are that Aaron Rodgers will start this weekend. With that being said, let's dig into this huge injury report and discuss what is going on there. Trevor Siemian, Riley Reiff, Dante Pettis, Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, and Larry Borom all missed practice, and their playing status for this weekend is in serious question right now. Meanwhile, Fields, Claypool, and Vildor were all limited. Let's dig right into that. First up is the quarterback position. I wish I had a better update on Justin, other than he did say that he feels better today than he did last week. He's still limited in practice, and until he returns to being a full participant in practice, I would say he is doubtful to play. With that being said, Siemian also missing practice puts our quarterback position in a bit of a flux right now. We have Tim Boyle as the only healthy quarterback on the 53-man roster, and then Nathan Peterman on the practice squad. If either of those guys starts this week, the tank watch should remain in full effect. Actually, without Darnell Mooney or Eddie Jackson the rest of the season, this team's chances of winning many more games this season is dwindling away. This could be really good for the draft position, but that is for another video. Next up on offense, both of our right tackles missed practice today, Larry Borom and Riley Reiff. I believe this would give Alex Leatherwood a chance to make his first start as a Chicago Bear at right tackle. Fans have been excited about Leatherwood's potential since we claimed him off waivers. He has a ton of potential and is possibly the most athletic guy on our entire offensive line. Tevin Jenkins and Braxton Jones are also both very athletic. I would love to see Leatherwood get a start this weekend. I will monitor Reiff and Borom's progress closely for this one. Lastly, on offense, with Mooney going to the injured reserve, our wide receiver room took a big hit. On top of that, Dante Pettis' status is also in the air this weekend, as he also missed practice, and Chase Claypool was limited. At this point, Pettis has to be considered questionable unless he returns to practice tomorrow. He is listed with an illness, so most likely Pettis should be fine for Sunday's game. There were reports that he was sick before the Jets game, so he is most likely just resting up and recovering from that. I would consider Chase Claypool probable to play this weekend. He finished up the game versus the Jets and made it through a limited practice. I would expect him to be on the field against Green Bay unless he suffers some sort of setback. Now for the defense, Eddie Jackson, Dane Cruikshank have both been put on the injured reserve, and then also Jaquan Brisker and Kyler Gordon missed another practice, and Kendall Vildor was a limited participant. Brisker and Gordon both missed the Jets game and remain in the concussion protocol. I would say normally players get cleared before the second game. Both guys still being out is a bit worrisome at this point, but they still have time to clear protocols and play this weekend. If Gordon and Brisker miss the game, our secondary is going to be hurting severely, with Bojack already out for the year. DeAndre Houston Carson filled in for Brisker last week, while Elijah Hicks took over for Eddie Jackson after he got hurt. If Brisker misses this one, expect to see Hicks and DHC starting. If Brisker returns, it's 50-50 who would get the start at free safety between DHC or Hicks, but personally, I would like to see Elijah Hicks get more playing time with Eddie Jackson out. He is a young draft pick who needs to get some experience on the field. The two guys I would most like to see on the field this week to evaluate would be Elijah Hicks and Alex Leatherwood. Both guys intrigue me a lot. You can throw Dieter Iceland in there as well, but it just doesn't seem to be happening. Lastly, I did want to talk a little bit about our new QB, Tim Boyle. I didn't watch any All-22 film on him, but I did watch all 3 of his starts last year for Detroit on condensed film, and I think he has more potential than Nathan Peterman and could be a better backup long-term than Trevor Siemian. Now, that's not saying too much, but Boyle is a big dude with a big arm who loves to take shots down the field. He may be a good fit to help evaluate some of these receivers, especially if Fields misses more time. Also, the safety we called up, who is now our 4th safety on the roster, is A.J. Thomas, a linebacker safety hybrid out of Western Michigan. He was actually rated very high on my initial list of undrafted free agents that Ryan Poles signed this year, right up there with Jack Sanborn. So I would like to see A.J. Thomas potentially get some work in the secondary as well. There is still a lot to watch this season. I know a lot of fans are down right now, but I believe our future is more promising than ever heading into the offseason. The rest of this year is about evaluating the talent on this roster and seeing what these guys can do. If Fields doesn't play this weekend, it would be the perfect opportunity to start Dieter Iceland at center. Stay tuned, guys. I have so much more coming. I appreciate everybody who watches. Please remember to hit that like button for me. That's all I ask. And until next time, bear down.